as they discuss the biggest stories in the world of
You
sports.
put them all together, it makes a nice package, right?
Get ready.
For passionate and intelligent conversation about the biggest issues and personnel in sports.
It's unscripted.
Somehow got mono, God knows who he was making out with.
Some people call him dirty. I like to call him creative.
It's unfiltered.
I'm going to need another beer soon.
And I said, well, hold, you're making my point, right?
My thoughts are I'm going to call my therapist after the show what I'm going to do.
What is up, Bean Apple? Your home for the Boston, New York sports rivalry, the best sports rivalry show on YouTube. So we are back to break down an incredible wild card weekend, super wild card weekend, as they like to call it, where I am going to boast a little bit and say we fucking killed it, absolutely killed it. So we're gonna break it down. We're gonna tell you exactly the all the highlights from this past weekend, and really get into some of the things that we hit dead on. So let's you want to take it away with the
Absolutely, I will.
Bills and
First, let me say hello to Trevor Lawrence Simmons. Thank you, brother. Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year.
Maybe we'll be talking about your Jags next year, man. With Trevor Lawrence at the helm, we just never know with all that money, but we'll see. But first, let's talk about the Colts and Bills. What a great game! What a way to start the day off. You know, you got the future of the NFL with Josh Allen, and then you got kind of the old man of the group in that game with Phillip Rivers. And I'll tell you what, this game didn't disappoint at all. Came to the end, but I'll tell you what, too much Buffalo. You know, Phillip Rivers, as we were texting, I think somebody pointed out that he looked like Peyton Manning when he played for Denver, trying to shot put the ball around. Kind of painful to watch. I'm curious if he's going to come back. I mean, the guy still threw for 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. I mean, no sacks. There's only 2 sacks in the whole game, and it was both by Indy. You know, again, their rushing game, Indy's rushing game, 163 yards. You know, to me, I think they did what they had to do. Kind of came down to missing some field goals. So, I mean, that kind of stung a little bit. So, you know, it was 2 rookie kickers, I want to say, too, in this game. And it just seemed like Bass came through when needed. So, shout out to Buffalo, though. Josh Allen, I mean, 324, you know, 2 passing, a rushing touchdown, average 5 yards a run. Little concerned. I think if I was Buffalo fans, I'd be a little bit concerned about the other rushing effort. You know, 50 yards between the two. You know, and they averaged 4 yards a carry, which I get. But great game. Didn't disappoint. Congrats to the Bills Mafia for finally winning one since probably the Jim Kelly era, I want to say.
25 years.
Yeah.
25 years since a playoff win.
I mean, insane. You know, but they look good. You know, I think they can beat anybody in the AFC. But again, there's, you know, if it ends up with them in KC, it should be pretty interesting because they're kind of clicking with points right now. They're scoring. Probably have to step up their D a little bit. But, I mean, Indy's no joke with that running game. I'm telling you. Jonathan Taylor, again, 21 carries. He only had 78 yards. But I say only against a pretty good defense. So I enjoyed the game. I don't know if you guys watched the whole thing or not. I was kind of glued to the TV all weekend. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but like you said, Buffalo, I mean, they gave up, 460, 470 in yards combined. I mean, so I don't think we were expecting that. I mean, we thought it'd be a close game. I know I had said 27-24 and take the points, and you would have won that game if you followed the lead there. But and we also talked about Diggs, right? Is Diggs going to play? And I said, there's no way he's not playing. And he goes 6 for 128 and a TD, right? So that guy, he's there to play. I don't care what you got to do. Wrap me up, fill me full of pills, and I'm getting on the field, right? I mean, this is it. But for the Buffalo fans, like you said, I mean, it's funny because I remember in 1990, and it's Scott Norwood missing the field goal, and my older son was just a baby then, and then 4 straight years of that, devastation, getting there and losing. It's a great 30 for 30. I don't know if you saw that on ESPN, but it's great to see them do this, and they look like they're gonna be around for a little while now, and see how far they can go with this.
Allen and Diggs, though, what a combo! I mean, those two look like they've been playing with each other for years. They really do. 9 targets, 6 catches, like you said, and I mean they're just in sync with each other. They really are, and they both talk very highly of each other. So I mean, it's good to see all of Diggs. Diggs's talent being traded from Minnesota. He went to a pretty good system, I think, with Josh Allen, to say the least. And wow, what a potent combo they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was saying that was kind of when the trade first happened. I was like, all right, a first round pick for Diggs. That's a little crazy because you don't see a lot of first round picks given up for wide receivers. But I think Minnesota got the short end of the stick there. I mean, for the way he played and what he's shown in Buffalo, they deserve more than just one first round draft pick. So that was kind of crazy. He went off. He's gone off all year. I mean, he led wide receivers in yards and catches. So just an outstanding game, and it played out exactly like Jim said. Just how we said it. We expected it to be a tight fought game, and props to you guys. You both gave 27-24 predictions for this game. And it really did. It came down to it. This was one of those games. It could have gone either way. I think the Colts played exactly into what we were talking about, is they're a quiet, underrated team. And they did it. I mean, they did what they needed to do. Just came up a little bit short. Phillip Rivers, just that arm. I don't know how. You watch him throw, and I was talking to somebody, and it looks like his throws look like Peyton Manning in his last Super Bowl run, where it took like every ounce of effort for a 15-yard pass downfield. Looked like he was throwing cinder blocks, like trying to shot put cinder blocks. That ball looked so heavy. I think
it seems like his shoulder. Maybe it's just after throwing, 85,000 passes or whatever it is. His shoulder is the socket or whatever. It must be just shot. They just can't do it anymore because it doesn't look natural. What he's doing does not look natural.
No, but he's had that. That's his throwing style for his whole career. He looks like he's
now
pushing.
It's even more pronounced,
and it's bad. But I mean, he gave that Hail Mary at the very end of the game a pretty good shot. Still couldn't get it to the end zone. I was really surprised they didn't bring Jacoby Brissett in to try and get that into the end zone and give him a chance. I was really surprised they left Phillip Rivers in there for that. That was shocking. I mean, you got one shot at it. You got to get it in the end zone. It made it to the 4-yard line. So even if they caught the ball, it wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
And that would have been even worse. That would have been even worse.
Yeah. I know. 4 yards short. Kind of like see that year,
Yes, that's exactly what I was just thinking. But yeah, it was still a very entertaining game to start the whole thing off with. And Jonathan Taylor did not do as much as I think we were all hoping he was going to. 78 yards and a touchdown. He looked good. He looked strong on a couple runs, but they needed, that's what we were saying, for the Colts to win. He needed to have a huge game, just a huge, 150 plus. And Bills defense, they held him in check. Josh Allen again, he looked good. He looks good. It looks like they got the right pick out of that quarterback class. But I mean,
he's solid.
Yeah, he definitely is a kid from playing in the middle of nowhere to dominating in the NFL. I mean, scouting it's got to be one of the hardest jobs in the world. I mean, you got all these big time quarterbacks going up against big time teams with the best players in it, and then you got Josh Allen that's playing up in North Dakota and destroying people.
It's Wyoming.
Wyoming. Trey Lance is North Dakota.
Same thing. It's the same thing. They're touching
might
each
as well.
other, right?
Yeah, right. It might as well be the same. The talent.
But I mean,
level.
so the question is Rivers, right? So is that it for Rivers? Is he done? Is he going to try and come back again? I mean, I get he wants to win. I mean,
I can't see him playing anymore. I mean, the end of that game looked painful for him, and maybe it wasn't, but like you guys were saying, I mean, it's just he was pushing the ball. I mean, there was hardly any zip on the ball. Again, not blaming him for the loss because Buffalo did exactly what they had to do. Stop Taylor, make Rivers beat him with his arm, and he just couldn't do it. Not a bad day, but I mean,
No.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it was a great game, but I mean, he couldn't even reach the end zone. Kind of a weird play. I mean, he was almost 60 yards out by the time he threw it. I don't know. I mean, if I was Indy, am I paying another $25 million for that? I don't think so. But I mean, you're kind of paying him and Brissett quite a bit of money. So I think this is the last year Brissett's guaranteed money. I don't know. Make a push for Deshaun Watson like everybody else in the NFL wants.
Yeah. Everybody wants it. Nobody's going to get it. It's like
Probably
you said,
not.
John. You don't trade that away.
No.
Quarterbacks like that are impossible to find.
Yeah.
You don't just let
you
it go.
make
Like,
him as happy as you can. Not to get off topic, but hot damn, I mean that guy is in the Mahomes level. He threw for almost 5,000 yards with Brandon Cooks on his team.
Right.
I mean, I don't know who the hell caught all the yards. I know Fuller did for a while until he got suspended, but still, it's like Jesus.
Yeah, you look at those numbers and you just wonder where'd they come from.
Yeah.
So that was a fun opening game for sure. Colts fans, I got one good friend that's a Colts fan that I think was pretty crushed, but to be completely honest, like from and John, I know you're not going to like it, but Jim, you might appreciate this. I mean, because we're in this. You've had a couple Super Bowls, but it's been a rough couple years, right? And most teams are like this, but to see. And we'll get into the Steelers, but to see Indy go down, to see the Patriots not make it, and to see the Steelers lose. When has this happened? When have the Patriots, the Colts, and the Steelers not been one of the teams going deep into the playoffs in the AFC? It just, what's it been? Over 20 years since we haven't seen one of these teams go into an AFC championship outside of the Ravens. I think, because remember that, what was it, the stat? What was it? Almost like 17 straight years. It was either Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, or Tom Brady in a Super Bowl, except for the one Joe Flacco year. Outside of that, like it's just been them dominating. So to me, it's refreshing. Like to know that one of those three teams that we're going to see somebody new in the AFC represented in the Super Bowl is really cool. It's just been the same run of the mill. And if it's your team, yeah, I get it. You know, you're pissed off right now. You should be, right? I mean, that's what it is.
But this may be the Mahomes era where he keeps going back to back.
That's right.
It could be. It very well could be. Let's bring some chats in here as we go.
With Rivers and Ben possibly both leaving, right? I mean, it could be where they both don't come back, and that's the end of that era, right? So,
right.
Yeah, right. We might. I mean, I think there's a complete changing of the guard coming up. I saw that Big Ben was even contemplating. He's got 1 year left. They owe him $42 million. How he doesn't come back for that last year? I think he'll be back for one last and then hang it up. But
nobody would blame him either.
Yeah, but you look at Brady's coming to an end. Breeze, they're talking. This is his end. Big Ben, Rodgers is getting close to the end. Brady is right at the doorstep as well. I mean. That you're looking at a complete changing of the guard in the NFL, and it's exciting because this talent that's coming up is completely different. You know, the Lamar Jacksons, the Mahomes, the Allens. It's a different style of quarterback than what has dominated the NFL for the last 20 years. So it's exciting and it's really cool, and I'm really excited to see where it's going to go from here. But this game was awesome, and this next game, Rams Seahawks. I told you guys this is the one I had my eye on, and my God, I'm gonna prop us up a little bit here because we called it. Well, at least I did. You guys thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy, and Shaney, for you,
do you like apples?
Yeah.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
Wow.
You guys said you said I was crazy.
You did, middle bro. So did I. So don't feel bad. I think we both did.
No, but what a game. I mean, I told you guys Russell Wilson picked 6. That came to fruition. I told you the defense needed to step up and play. and they absolutely smothered Russell Wilson in this one. And the other key to it was, John, what I tell you, they're not going to let the quarterback throw the ball. And of course, Jamal Adams took Wolford out on that cheap shot that should have been a 15-yard penalty. How it wasn't, I have no idea. That guy was almost laying on the ground, and Jamal basically Supermaned into him. It was completely unnecessary, but knocked him out of the game. Thank God, he went to the hospital. He came out okay, which is a good sign. But I mean, Goff was very limited.
But still, it was the turning point. That was the turning point of the game, right? Because if that kid plays the whole game, there's a chance Seattle's winning. Probably a good chance they're winning.
No.
The fact that he gets knocked out, he gets the cheap shot, and Goff comes in with 4 fingers on his hand and somehow still beats Seattle, right? I mean, incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, that running game, 164 yards total, rushing. Cam Akers, 131. I mean, just dominated. And that's what I said they needed to do to win the game is what happened. I mean, it just played out to perfection, but that defense was just smothering. 5 sacks, 6.5 tackles for a loss, 4 passes defended, hit Russell Wilson 10 times.
Yep.
I mean, that's a recipe for success. And the fact that the defense was able to play at that caliber the whole game, I mean, they never backed off. Ever. They never gave an inch. It was incredible to see them play with that level, that motor nonstop. It was
right. That's how you win, right? You got to fight till the end, like we talked about. You don't take your foot off the gas. You don't give him a chance to breathe. And to me though, so in the pregame we were talking about DK needed to have a coming out party, right? We were saying over under 100. He had 96. Drops the ball at the end of the game. That would have put him over 100. But man, I have a feeling, and I hope this doesn't happen. If this kid turns into Odell, and with his stupid antics on the sideline, he was kind of upset and crying and yelling, and you could see he's got his earrings in and everything's going on. I'm thinking, oh my God, if this is going to turn into a Beckham now, it could backfire for him. I think the kid's great, and he's, like Joe says, the best receiver in the league. But you got to keep your head. I mean, hopefully there's some veterans on that team that kind of corral him in and show him the way before he just loses control. But,
yeah, I saw that on the sideline. Like Pete Carroll was trying to talk to him, and he's just yelling. And that was early in the game too. It wasn't even fourth quarter.
That's
it was
what made me nervous.
That was odd. That was really odd.
Yeah,
that made me nervous. I thought, man, this kid's losing his head this early. It's going to be over. They're not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to keep it and turn it around. But and in fact they didn't. So
right. Yeah, and that's Shane. That's a good breakdown of them because they started out on fire and Jim, Michael was saying, Super Bowl champions, right out the gate. I mean, and they started out looking like, who's going to stop these guys? And then
the Giants came to town.
Yeah. Who would have known it was the Giants that derailed Seattle's Super Bowl dreams this year? Just
the tank was full speed ahead until the Giants got there.
Yeah, right. James Bradbury just shut the whole thing down. Oh my God! NFL Defensive Player of the Year, I guess.
Yeah. I think it was Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy did it.
Yeah,
it's even worse.
That was sick.
Even worse.
Everybody figured Seattle would go all the way, but yeah.
Not this guy. So the Jets now have the 23rd pick. Thank you, Jamal Adams, for that. But I will give Jamal Adams props. I was reading just before we came on that he has a torn labrum in his shoulder. He's having surgery on, and he has 3 broken fingers on the other hand that needs surgery. Yeah. And he played that game 110%. So as much as I do not like his attitude and the antics that he used in New York, and we've talked about that on occasion, I got to give the guy props because I've had a torn labrum. I know how limiting that is. You could move your arm okay, but you can't put any weight over your head whatsoever. Like anything you need to go higher than your shoulder on with your arm, it just doesn't want to go. So if you have to push anything, it's just not going to happen. So, and then broken fingers on the other hand. I mean, good on him. Good on him. But
beast. He's an absolute beast. He is.
But 2 first rounds and a
Not
third,
for a safety. Not for a
Nope.
safety.
and it shows. So now we get that 23rd pick. I'm excited.
Good.
And Russell,
Yep. No,
Russell,
the kid,
I'm curious to see what people think of Russell Wilson now, because he started off so hot, and then he went on that stretch when he played the Giants to where he was throwing interceptions like crazy, and then kind of came back from it, and then in this one he looked and maybe the Rams have figured out how to do this, because this is worse numbers than I showcased
last
against them in
couple
the 2
games,
games.
yeah.
11 for 27
Yeah.
for 174, 2 touchdowns and an interception, a 17 QBR. Like, the Rams have figured out how to stop him, because this has happened in all 3 games now that they've played. So I don't know I
think I know it's their O line. I mean, that O line, for one, needs a lot of help. I mean, they were all over him all game long. And 2, kind of like what Shanny pointed out, that team as a whole, I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know what key injuries they had on that O line or whatever happened. But my God, that team just has not looked the same since about week 7, week 8. Yes, absolutely. I mean, he was just running around like friggin' crazy. Good humor there, brother. I love it.
the kid had no chance.
But yeah, I mean, the guy had no chance. I mean, God forbid if Arnold doesn't play against Green Bay, they are going to absolutely annihilate the Rams. If
who?
Aaron,
Aaron Donald.
Yeah. If Aaron Donald doesn't play,
he's
they're in a lot of
out,
trouble.
bro.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
he's
right.
got out a big stretch of the second half.
Oh
there.
yeah, and I'll tell you what. I mean, he anchors that defense, and I mean, they just made it impossible for that O line to do absolutely anything. And Ramsey covered Metcalf. I don't know. He covered him pretty good. You know. So, but I think they need to start with that O line. They need to revamp it, because when a running quarterback, and as talented a quarterback as Russell Wilson is, can't get away all game, that means he's not even getting out of the pocket in back of him. You know what I mean? He's not even able to move out of his bubble. It's just insane. But you're right, Joe. They figured out a way to stop him, and I'll tell you what. I mean, that should be the blueprint for everybody going on next year.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up real quick to see kind of where they're sitting cap space wise. Because I'm wondering, I mean, now they don't have a first for the next 2 years. So not grabbing an offensive lineman there.
Now they got to pay. Now they got to pay somebody.
Yeah. So their 2021 cap space is projected at $17 million. That's not very good. That's not very good. So yeah, that's going to be a tough. This might be. You know what, this 2022 first round draft pick for Jamal Adams. I mean, who knows? It could turn into a Texans type of thing where you've got a great quarterback down there, but I mean,
nothing to do.
Right. I mean, that division is still. It's not. It's going to get harder next year because you're going to have a healthy San Francisco 49ers team. So that's one thing. Arizona's going to be a year. Kyler Murray should be a year better. That'll be tough. The Rams will still be tough again. So that division's not going to get easier, and they might be the team that's actually on the downturn now. I don't know.
No, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
Let me see what his contract. Yeah, his contract's up too. Yeah. I was just looking at how do you say it?
Mike Body.
Yes, there you go. Looking up his contract, it looks like it's about $8 million, right? Because he signed at $540. I can't find the breakdown of it. Oh, here we go. $540. But then he signed a 1-year deal. I'm just seeing how much. $8.5 million. Okay, so yeah, about $8.5 million in cap space. But still,
yeah, it's not leaving you with a ton of money. So
no,
I don't know what free agents they have, but Yeah, I mean they're going to be in an interesting spot. It's going to be an interesting thing to see. They went all in trying to get Jamal Adams, and they should have went all in to get offensive linemen to give Russell Wilson some time because with that run it with Carson and with DK and Lockett, if you could have given Russell Wilson some time to just sit back there and throw or let him scramble when things break down, they would have been very hard to beat. I don't care how bad the defense is. Because you watch Patrick Mahomes do it. You watch Allen do it. They got good defense. Well, Allen's got a good defense, but it's that I think that was their mistake. They tried to go for the flash, and safety can only do so much. So,
Yeah, I mean the kid's fired up. I mean he's bouncing all over. So we haven't really talked about it. So I'll tell you something that bothers me about football.
No.
So like one of the first plays in the game, there's a tackle, and Jamal Adams is jumping up and down and yelling and screaming. This is your job, right? So my feeling is if you have a big third down stop, you have a big sack for a loss, you have a goal line stand, I'm all for the cheering, big catch, something, a game-winning thing. Every single time a guy catches a ball for 11 yards and gets the first down, does he have to jump up and down and point? You just did what you're supposed to. That's what we pay you for, right? Get open, catch the ball. Nothing major happened. You didn't beat the guy out. You didn't out-jump him. It doesn't have to be a celebration on every play. That's my take. I don't know how you guys feel. I can't stand all the excess when it's because then it takes away from the big stuff, right? If it just to me it gets all watered down. I like the back in when it was Denver and Giants and Gary Reasons came over the top and nailed them. I think it was Humphrey at the goal line. That's what you celebrate, right? You save the game, whatever. It doesn't have to be every tackle, every catch, everything. I saw that and I thought, man, it was the first play of the game. I get you trying to get fired up, but
Yeah.
I
like it on 4th and 1, a big third down, like if it's a goal line stand and you stop them on something like that. Awesome. Like, you should be pumped up on something like that. But you make a tackle on a first down play and it's now 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 4. Who cares? Like,
it's his first playoff game. Playoffs. It's his first playoff game. He's a young guy. He just went from the Jets, who won't make the playoffs for at least another 4 years.
Hey, and we're gonna have to thank John for being on the show today. Thanks, John. And
but the guy's excited. I mean, he struck gold. I mean, regardless of how Seattle finished this year, and they got problems, but boy, I'll take Seattle's problems over the Jets' problems. So.
What if next year it switches? What if the Jets nail it in the draft, they nail it in free agency, and they're in the playoffs and Seattle misses?
I don't think that will happen. I think any Russell Wilson-led team will be just fine. Now, he obviously can't carry him completely to a Super Bowl on his own.
Yeah, but they're not just fine last night, so.
No, they weren't. Yes. But I mean, they're also playing a team whose coach has owned them since he started coaching the Rams. Yeah. I mean, that's his 8th win against them in 10 games or 7 and 9.
Yeah, but he just played a game with Jared Goff, who had surgery on his throwing hand 12 days ago.
Yeah, but they got Cam Akers, and it's not the offense that I mean, the offense played well, but the defense set the tone for that game for the Rams. Yeah.
So if Russell Wilson has to
Cam Akers ran well.
If Russell Wilson has to play a hard defense, what happens?
Well, that's what I mean. You have to shore up the O-line.
Thank you, Pete.
I wasn't even going to mention that.
1969.
That still was a terrible pick. Joe Namath was a drunk.
Not back then.
Yes, he was.
Well, I mean, the problem the Jets have is, Buffalo is so much further ahead of them. So Buffalo's going to get better. So the Jets will get better, yes. But Miami's going to get better. Jets are going to get better. The Pats, who knows where they're going to end up.
They'll be fine.
So where are the Jets going to be again next year, right? So if every team gets better, the Jets are still lagging, right? I mean, can you really count it again?
No. So what's going to happen is they're going to draft Zach Wilson. They're going to sign Chris Godwin. They're going to draft. They're going to draft Najee Harris and grab another offensive lineman with their first 3 picks. Now you're sitting in a pretty nice spot.
So still not Fields. If Fields wins tonight, Jets don't take Fields?
No. No, I'm not.
Yes, they
I'm
do.
not convinced.
Yes, they do.
You want it.
If he
You
beats
want it to
Alabama
happen.
tonight,
You want it to happen, but it's not going to happen.
Yes, I don't. I think Fields is a pretty damn good quarterback. But what I'm saying is, if he and somebody asked me, my son-in-law kind of sent me, my brother, a text asking me, asking us who we thought about tonight's game. I still think Bama, because both sides of the ball, I mean, they're just beasts. And that's why if Fields does have a decent game against them, if Fields has a decent game tonight, I'm telling you, he's going to be a New York Jet in the defense. Joe, I wish you would have met my. Actually, you have
I've
met
met
my
your
brother.
brother a few times.
Yeah, you met my brother over at my house.
Yeah, when he
so-
loses the wing challenges.
Ooh,
Ah, zing.
I won last year. Cam Newton did shred the Jets. But okay, sorry. We got off the beaten
Yeah.
path. Let's not.
All right.
What are we talking about the Jets for?
This is
Friggin'
playoff
playoff
football.
Because I said this last week, because no matter what, the Jets are entertaining to talk about. So,
Yeah, they're really not. They're disgusting.
all right, well, let's jump back to, let's get back on track. Let's move on to the next one and talk about your old boy, Tommy B.
TB12. I'll tell you what. So Brady, numbers wise, looked okay. Had 18 incompletions. Got sacked a few times, but I mean, honestly, the more impressive thing was what's his name, Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
My
what?
God.
What?
I mean,
just
just
come from?
just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and again, me and Shane were talking yesterday, and he brought up a good point. Nobody had any tape on this guy. I mean, the guy played like it didn't matter what was going to happen to his body because
Yeah.
they were going to put him in that dunk tank like in Return of the Jedi. After he got stuck out in the frozen, they were going to put him in that water and heal him because he was throwing his body around like he did not give a shit.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is going to turn Washington into saying, hey, we got our quarterback. I don't think that. But I'll tell you what, he put up a pretty good game tape for himself for somebody that may need a backup quarterback who and who may want to take a chance on him. But I'll tell you what, I don't think this game should have been as close as it was. Tampa's red zone was not great, but I'll tell you what, that Washington D is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Tampa put up 500 yards of offense against them. Just insane. I think Washington's running game killed them. Would Gibson have like 30 yards and 14 carries? I mean, 86 yards, 3.7 a carry. I mean, you needed to help out Heineke or Heineken, whatever his name is, a lot more than that. And they just didn't. But hey, give Washington some credit, man. They played a pretty solid game.
Yeah.
They really did.
So remember when I said going into the fourth quarter, this is going to be a one-score game, and you guys both
You were right.
again looked at me like I was
I
out of my
know.
mind. I'm telling you.
I said, would you take Washington with 20? No.
No.
You would, but in the real world, I don't know what fantasy land this game happened in, because that this kid comes in off the street and throws for 300 yards against Tampa Bay, and he runs for almost 50. Come on, I mean, and now he wants to stay there. The question's going to be: does Alex come back? Smith, does he come back again? He couldn't finish the year. I don't think so either. And why wouldn't they keep him? Why wouldn't Rivera make him at least compete for the starting job?
Right.
I mean, for that effort that kid gave you, he have the the lead into that. Come on, he has to.
I think I'll tell you why. Because in 20 years, Washington has had 18 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Are you really going to go into the year with Taylor Heineke as one of your main guys? I don't think you can. I don't.
What are you going to do?
Who
Who are
you
you going to
taking?
use? If Alex leaves,
I don't
you
even
got
know.
nobody. You got nobody.
I think
mean,
Alex
he's got-
Smith too. His was just wanted to see if he can come back to the NFL. He did it,
Yeah.
and now and he led his team to the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good swan song there to walk away
Yeah.
at. But yeah,
I think he's done. To me, he has to be
I did
done.
too. I
But-
did too.
but you're
you
either
gotta
going-
bring somebody else in.
yeah, you're going with a rookie quarterback, or you're bringing this guy back again.
Right. And
Right,
I
I
attribute
mean-
that to the coach, boy. But I mean, yeah, they did get to the playoffs with 4 different starters, but the conference was garbage. I mean, it just was. I mean, 7-9 got to the playoffs. So, but you're right, Shane. I mean, kudos to Ron Rivera. I mean, the guy beat cancer this year. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And took that team to the playoffs. I mean, what are they going to do? Sign Minshew next year after they draft Trevor Lawrence? You know, it's like I don't know who Trubisky. You know, try one of these guys. Phillip Rivers. I don't know. I mean, but I don't know what Washington's next move is, but they cannot find a quarterback to save their lives.
No.
Cannot.
No. But if you're Washington,
No.
wouldn't it be smart to bring him back and then maybe draft Trey Lance or Mac Jones or somebody like that later in the first? So
Yeah.
let him sit for a year if you can. If Heineke absolutely sucks, then you throw your first round guy in there and you let him learn. It's not like you said, it's not like Washington has a track record of drafting awesome first round quarterback or any round quarterbacks. So you might as well just keep trying.
Yep.
That's all you can really do. But yeah, this game, that Washington defense though is their strength, and that was kind of what I was getting to, is I thought they could hold tight with Tom, and they did. They held on for a very long time. They made this a very competitive game. What really blew my mind is I thought Mike Evans was hurt.
Yeah, me too.
And apparently I got a different memo. Maybe he was just acting like it was hurt at the end of that game so that people wouldn't expect him to have a 119-yard game, because he got dunked in that tub there for sure.
Yeah,
Because I couldn't believe that. Yeah.
Right, he
was-
came back in the game when I figured he's done for tonight. And then all of a sudden at the end of the game, he's back in catching again. I'm like, what is going on with this guy? I
Yeah, it was very, very impressive.
didn't know if he was going to play at all. Then he catches for 119, right?
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Chris Godwin in a Jets jersey next year as our number one. That's gonna be nice. All that money to spend, and we're gonna.
Bucks first, Saints 3. Does Brady lose to Breeze 3 times this year?
I don't know. I'm excited for it.
I think
It's
it's going to be a
gonna
great
be a
game.
good game. Yeah.
That's a
I'll
tough
wait for
one
the
to
recap.
call, man.
Yeah.
That's
Preview.
a tough one to call. I
Yeah.
can't see Brady losing to the same team 3 times in the same year. I just can't see it.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I'll
that
tell you
would be
what,
some-
the Saints look amazing, though. I mean, they do. Chicago held them, but Chicago's D's tough. You know, holding New Orleans, and we'll get to that game. I won't go too far ahead, but you know, Chicago did what they had to do. But now Brady and Breeze, both 40 plus. You know, potentially Breeze's last game. Talk about being hyped up. It should be interesting.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a very fun one. But yeah, this Saturday slate. I mean, we hit it all over the place on this. I mean, you guys called the score on the first game. I think I basically gave away the Rams game plan for that. I didn't have
did.
insider information, but for some reason, I think what happened actually was Sean McVay watched the show and was like, this guy makes a lot of sense, and just wrote that into the game script and was like, all right, we're going to get a pick 6. We're going to run the ball. The defense is going to come up huge, smother Russell Wilson, and we're going to win this game. And he's yeah. So yeah, he called me up earlier and he was asking like, hey, you know, I know you're going to retire soon. When you do, you want to come over and, you know, assistant head coach. And I was like, Sean, one day at a time. One day at a time. I got a lot of things going on right now. So I told him I'd get back to him after the show.
Thanks,
So-
Joe. I appreciate you coming back to the show tonight.
Yeah, I can't let you guys down. We're just launching this thing, so we got a long way to go. And then the Washington game, we said, well, that the defense was going to be the linchpin there for Washington to have any hope, and they absolutely were. And what a Cinderella story it was for Heineke there in that game. That was awesome, and it's definitely going to be worth seeing what is going on in the future with that team and what he's going to get an opportunity to do. Hopefully he gets an opportunity to say like, hey, this wasn't just one game, but I don't know. But then let's roll into Sunday, the game that I know, John, you were really excited for and turned out to be, in my opinion, one of the least exciting games.
No way.
No?
Ravens and Titans, man. Look at Lamar Jackson. Look at him. Look at him, 300 yards on his own. Baltimore stacked the box and stopped Henry. I mean, they held him to 2.2 yards a carry. That forced Tannehill to win the game, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. There's no way. That Baltimore D was insane. Ryan Tannehill. So as you can see, me and Shane have similar likes and dislikes of very similar players. And Shane, back real quick. Gronk was an absolute beast blocking. He didn't have one catch, but I'll tell you what, he kept Tom Brady upright most of the game. He really did, along with that O-line. But anyways, go back to the Ravens and Titans. You knew they had to stop Henry. They did. The fact they held him to 40 yards is insane. God, what was his longest run? 8 yards? I mean, you will beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tannehill is not a great quarterback without a good running game. I mean, he's just proven it after time. Yeah. Last year in the playoffs when Tennessee was rolling, what did they have? A great running game. I want to say against Baltimore, God, what did he do? I think he threw less than 10 times last year, didn't he, in the playoffs? Wasn't he like 7 for 9, some crazy stat, whatever the hell it was? But I'm happy for as much as I say this, I hate to say I'm happy for Baltimore being a Pats fan, but I love Lamar Jackson. To me, he should be wearing a Patriots fan. They should have drafted him instead of Sony. Michelle, Bill didn't listen to me. Bill, are you listening now? When I call you, answer the damn phone. So anyway, J.K. Dobbins, not a great game, but he didn't have to have one because Lamar did it. 236 yards rushing, and that's without Ingram. Ingram's healthy and active, so it is what it is. But 236 on the ground, that is a recipe to keep moving along in the playoffs. I mean, it truly is. Truly is. And they're going to have their hands full this week. They are. They're going to have their hands full this week.
Yeah, he was something, man. That 48-yard run, too. I mean, he's so fast. Nobody.
Oh, man.
You can't
Love
catch
him.
him.
Absolutely love him.
The only bad thing is I've been saying it for 2 years now is he is going to take a hit on one of these runs and die.
I mean, he flipped in the air on a one where he had the long run. He turned sideways in the air, and I thought, oh my God, he comes down on his leg wrong or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's
right.
You
Well,
can't
you just
keep
come
doing
down,
that.
Slam your hip, something like that, and
Sure.
I mean, you look at going back to the Saints game or the Seattle game. Aaron Donald went out of that game because Russell Wilson landed on his hip.
Right.
He was sacking
Yes.
him.
Right. Yeah.
Wasn't
That was
that a crazy play? I mean,
Yeah.
you saw
such a
that, and you
fluke
thought
play.
Donald's hurt from this. It
Right.
looked like nothing. I mean,
Right. And he went down. So, and he's gigantic, and Russell Wilson fell on his lap and hurt him. So, if one of these guys, if one of these times Lamar's going to spin and he's not going to know somebody's there, and
that's right. It's gonna be
he's
over.
going to spin right into somebody like Fields tried to do in the Ohio State game last week, and just
Oh
boom.
my God! Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Targeting.
So I don't know, but yeah, and until then, I don't know who's going to stop him. He's back on.
He's amazing.
for
Absolutely
sure.
amazing.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Marquise
but-
Brown.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
He was my sleeper coming into this, and man, what a terrible start to the season. And he's been going off the last 5 weeks or so, just going ballistic. So definitely turned it up after I think everybody in fantasy dropped him and completely gave up on him. So real sneaky there, Hollywood, real sneaky. Wait till they all give up, then play my best. So. Yeah,
It was good to see Baltimore come back, though, right? I mean, Tennessee had the early lead, and then just like DK, right, you saw Derrick Henry on the sideline and Vrabel right in his ear yelling and whatever, and man, so he was upset, and in the preview we talked about, or I know I said, this could be one of those games where Henry does nothing, and everyone said, hey, he runs for 2,000 yards. Yeah, but no, there's games where he just doesn't get going. And this was another one of those games, 2.2 average. He runs for 40, and they lose because Tannehill can't do it. He can't carry. If Henry's not getting downfield, and once they can bottle him up, then they bottle up Tannehill too, and it's over. And that's exactly what they were able to do. So,
yeah, it
Sure
definitely
did.
was.
yeah.
Sure did.
So Lamar moves on.
Yeah, Lamar's going to be, and John, you said it earlier. If they get in the playoffs, they're going to be hard to stop. And
Yeah.
Lamar's a one-man wrecking crew. without a doubt.
He is. I think he's
You know.
pissed off from last year
Yeah.
because they didn't do shit. And I seen an interview with, God, who was it? It was one of the Ravens receivers talking about Dez Bryant. Now, Dez, I don't think had any catches that game. I don't know. I'd have to look.
I don't think so.
But the way they talk about him as being a mentor and kind of like a father figure on that team has done wonders for them. They praise Dez like crazy, that whole wide receiving core, and it's coming at the right time. And I'm telling you, you're gonna see the same game plan against Buffalo. I mean, they're gonna try and rush for 200 plus again. I'm gonna say right now, I know we're doing our predictions later on the week. If Baltimore rushes for 200 yards in any of these playoff games, they're gonna win. I don't care who they play, they're gonna win because they just control the clock and they strike so hard and fast.
Oh,
Man.
I don't know, but Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson.
What a great game! What a great game that's gonna be.
That's
Is
crazy.
that Saturday? I hope.
What time? Yeah, when is that? I didn't look.
How
When
about
is that?
Saturday? I may have to
What a
drink all day
weekend.
Saturday.
Like I do every other
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, like I do every other Saturday. Wait a minute, my bad.
Can't
So
drink
we
all
have-
day unless you start in the morning.
Saturday. Rams at Green Bay and Baltimore at Buffalo. Ooh, Saturday night. Nice.
Oh,
They
good.
finally got
Nice.
one right. Then.
Perfect.
So
That's
that's
the
good.
game of the week right there. I know Tampa and New Orleans, but man, I think Baltimore and Buffalo, that's going to be an electric game.
Yeah.
Mm.
And look at that. They saved your Bucks Saints game for the Sunday night.
640.
Or the
though.
Sunday
that's not
afternoon.
bad. Yeah, that's not bad. 640, I can handle that. Don't give
No,
me
that's
an
nice on
8:30.
that's nice on the East Coast when a game's actually over at the same time it is on the West Coast over here. It's
Right.
so nice when a game's over at 8:45 at night. I'm just like, nice. You want to watch a show or something before bed, or not laying in bed at 11:45 and just like, oh God, stay awake.
It's
the
a
fourth
2-minute
quarter.
warning.
Yeah, don't call a timeout.
Just play, man. Just
Right.
play.
Right. So, yeah, that was a good game. I guess I should say this: the Bears Saints game. That one stayed close for much longer than it should have. I mean, we've all known the Bears defense is extremely competitive, and they are the backbone of that team, hands down. And it is an absolute sin to see that Allen Robinson's probably going to walk away.
As he
Trubisky, I don't know what they're going to do with him, if they're going to sign him to a big deal after a couple of good games, or if they're going to completely
way.
start over again. That defense is going to go to waste. It's just going to go to waste. You talk about a team that's worth going all in for. It was the Bears. They should have spent every dime on the offense and built something, but they just didn't.
Yeah.
They just didn't. And now Khalil Mack is going to go to waste. The rest of that defense around him is going to go to waste, and it's going to be a disaster. But man, they held on to the Saints for a very, very long time. I mean, it was a good game, but there was never a point in time in this game that I thought the Bears were going to win.
Right, you weren't worried at all, right? I mean,
No, it was tough, but I was never like, oh, here they come. No, it was
this is the turning point. Nope.
yeah, no, that game never had that at all. This was the only game that I was actually able to get up and go do something and come back and check up on, because it was like, nothing else has happened.
Nothing.
So
Kamara, 100 yards. Okay, right. Breeze,
Right.
2 touchdowns. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, kind of just what you expected from that side, and but yeah, unfortunately, the Bears just were never able to get going in this one. So
They shouldn't even
not
been
a-
in there. They shouldn't even
No.
been in this round. They should have been gone already.
No, 8-8.
Yeah, I mean they squeaked in because Arizona couldn't finish it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
And that sucks. I would have, like we said in the preview show, I would have loved to see Arizona in this spot. A healthy Kyler Murray against Drew Brees and Michael Thomas, Kamara, like that would have been fun to watch. Because when Kyler's healthy, he's as good as Lamar Jackson. It just, we're gonna have to wait till next year to see that one, I think. But
So could you imagine if Chicago would have drafted Watson or Mahomes instead of Trubisky at 17?
man. Oh,
I mean,
God.
seriously, could you imagine what that team would be like with that
No.
defense? My God.
No.
I mean, I guess I don't get what they seen, but
And
whatever this, I don't know.
If they had that insight too, they could have traded out of 2 and let somebody come up and get him, grabbed an extra first-round draft pick or an extra second-round draft pick, and they got Mahomes and a wide receiver to go with him.
Yeah,
with that defense,
with Robinson there, can you imagine Watson or Mahomes with Robinson? Mahomes would be doing the same thing he does in Kansas City as in Chicago. I mean, he would have probably the same type of talent. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah.
But what if? And Johnny Muck, you're right. The Saints were kept at arm's length. I mean, all game, that defense. I mean, with 58 yards rushing by the Bears. So it's not like they controlled any of the clock and slowed it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many first downs did they have?
48 yards rushing.
Yeah, 48. Sorry.
Yeah.
Here, let me see something real quick because the first downs were just gross. Chicago had 11 first downs that game. 11. I mean, and they still kept it within, they still kept it within like a couple turnovers and maybe a pick 6 to help out or something. You know what I mean? But I mean, that defense, Joe, like you said, what a waste of talent that is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that D is for real. And Trubisky, I mean, you have to get rid of him. You can't keep him. He's not going to do any better next year. I mean, he's had years to prove it. He has weapons, and you're right. Robinson's probably going to leave now. Yeah. So now you're really screwed. You know?
Right. Yeah, he's one of the many talented guys that are this wide receiver class is going to be amazing to come out. It really is, and he's going to get paid.
A lot of franchise tags. I do. I see a lot of franchise tags.
I assume a couple will, but like we were talking about though, with the salary cap expected to go down.
True.
A lot of teams will not be able to. Actually, I think a lot of really talented players are also going to hit free agency because they're going to have to. They're not going to. A lot of them aren't going to take pay cuts to stay on teams that are mediocre. You know, like what if I don't know what the Bears look like, but Khalil Mack's making a lot of money. What if they're over their cap? What if he says no? I'm not taking. Why would I take a pay cut? Like to stay on this team without a quarterback, without a number 1 wide receiver? Go ahead and give me my walking papers, and I'm moving out. I'm trying to see.
Could they keep that line together, Ham and Hicks? And I mean, that's a tough line. But I don't know what their contracts look like. Again, it's hard. You know, in my mind, coming back when you know you're that dominant and you're going to come back to a team. If they don't do anything in the offseason, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're $90,000 over the cap right now.
Oh boy!
So they gotta make some moves. And
what's the Trubisky hit though? The Trubisky hit's kind of high though, isn't it?
Well, this is his 4th year, and they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so he's a free agent. But Khalil Mack, cap number is $26 million. He's guaranteed $16 this year. Robert Quinn's making $11 million. Cap hits $14 million. Who else is big? Eddie Jackson's making $9 million. So but they don't have a lot of. I mean, those are their big guys. But Khalil Mack is huge. So if they've got to make moves to get under the cap and add some talent,
God, you have to keep him though. I mean, the guy still plays at an unbelievable level. You know, I mean, if you're going to let him go, I mean, that's not going to entice anybody to show up there.
No.
You know,
but you might have to try to trade him,
or just restructure his contract. Maybe.
Right.
I mean, I know. I don't know how that
cap
hit works. You know what I mean? With 26, I know he's getting paid 16. So obviously, there's been some cap hit maintenance there done the last couple years. So I just don't know how
they can't cut him. Because they'll take a $38 million
right. I don't see him
if they cut him.
So. But I mean, if they trade him, then you're kind of relieved from that. So
yeah, and that might be the way. And a lot, but I think we're going to see this on a lot of teams. I think a lot of teams are going to be in this situation where they've got to make some moves. Let me see, like we talked about before, you know, and the Saints are another one, $95 million over the cap.
But Drew Brees will be gone next year.
He'll be gone, yes. But
speaking of Brees, what a game he had!
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he looked great. I did. Even with
Mhm.
that D, I thought he looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, and think about how many weeks ago. So go ahead.
Except that 4th and goal. Okay, why 4th and goal with you didn't need to score anything. It was like 1:26 left, and you have your 41-year-old quarterback trying to be Herschel Walker jumping over that line. What if he would have been concussed there? Because he actually got a hit on the head.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even get it.
It's
I don't understand that play. It was an absolute terrible call. Everyone's like, oh, it's probably Breeze who called it. Well, then you know what? Breeze shouldn't be in that game. What do you have Hill for?
Right.
Because he obviously has a concussion already.
That's
Yeah,
right. Maybe he was
I mean, it's
concussed
just-
already.
It's just awful. You know what I mean? Absolutely terrible.
Mhm.
That I just don't get it that you would do that when it meant nothing. Now, if you're trying to win the game, okay, that's one thing. But you have
Yeah.
Kamara back there. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the play you're going to call? Come on, man. Be smarter than that. I get it. You get hyped in the game, but dumb move, Drew Brees or whoever called it a Peyton. Absolutely terrible move.
Yeah.
I seen that. I'm like, God forbid if he gets hurt. I mean, they already had the game won. Hill should have been playing quarterback anyways.
Right.
But I think that's probably why they're saying he's probably going to retire this year, because they're going to have to cut so much out of this team. And what is he going to restructure in the last year when he
Who's
knows
that, Breeze?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
he's
done.
not going to restructure his contract. He knows he's done. And if he
Winston will
retires,
be the
and
starter there.
they're going to bring Winston back.
I mean, I would. He's been part of the system. I mean, he threw 30 touchdowns a couple of years ago. I'd
Yeah.
keep him.
Well, but
Who else you gonna go for?
They went with Hill over Winston to start. So
Yeah.
I think they're gonna give Taysom Hill a shot.
That won't last.
And they're paying him $10 million. You might as well for
I think Hill's shit. I don't like
But, I
him
mean,
at quarterback.
the contracts are just insane. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Marshawn Lattimore has zero dead money, so he's gone. He's owed $10 million.
What's the cap hit for Breeze? Like Shanny was talking about
Breeze
there. Did you
cap
say?
hit is $36 million,
Ooh.
which is huge.
So they're
he's-
going to run into a
so they're-
Brady problem.
Yeah, they're gonna have to ask him to retire because they can't bring him back. He's, like I said, $95 million over the salary cap. That's
Yeah, but I think that cap hit is there once he leaves, like Shane was saying.
not if he retires.
Okay.
Not if he retires. If he retires, he
Okay.
just
Can't
walks away from the
restructure it?
game.
You can't restructure it and push it out.
Well, then he'd have to keep playing though.
Yeah. I don't think he
Once
wants
you
to keep playing.
retire, the team doesn't owe you anything. They're not
I'm
paying
saying
you.
you can't restructure that even if you retire and say, listen,
I don't
I'll
think
take
they can
this
Bobby
much.
Bonilla it.
that's what I'm talking about.
Well,
right.
they're
That would
not
be
paying
awesome.
him though. They're not going to pay him. That's just the cap hit. You know what I mean? That's
Well,
just
his-
the cap hit. It's like
yeah,
Brady.
he's
with,
owed
$16
$25 million.
Yeah.
So he's
So
on
that
25.
money- Yeah. So that money they won't pay him,
Yeah.
even if he
Right.
retires or goes somewhere else. But I mean, the cap hit is going to absolutely. I mean, like you said, Joe, if he doesn't retire, that team is screwed.
Yeah, they're going to have to cut a bunch. You know, the Eagles are 50 million over, the Falcons are 24 over, Packers
Yep,
are
Johnny.
22 over, the Rams are 22 over, the Steelers are 21 over, Texans 17, Chiefs 13. I mean, you got
Jesus.
those are outside the Texans, really good teams, and the Falcons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good players that are going to have to either take cuts or
Come to New
say-
England, baby.
yeah, or say no, cut me. I'm going to go make my money somewhere else. So, you know,
Right.
if you've won a championship like with the Chiefs or the Saints or you know whatever, I don't know if anybody's playing on the Saints still that have won a championship, but yeah, let me go somewhere else. I'm going to go make my money. So that it's going to be an interesting. Like how are the Bears going to franchise tag Allen Robinson when they're $90,000 over the cap? And then you're going to pay him top 3 wide receiver money?
Yep.
I don't think so. So
Just
We'll
yeah,
see.
like Shanny said, that cap hit is I think is there regardless, even
Well,
if he does retire, because that's all deferred
don't
money.
think so. I think it just goes off the books once you retire. That's it. Like it just. I'm pretty
Also,
I don't
maybe
know.
they had to pay Brady because he still played.
Well, no, that was all deferred money throughout the years with New England. That had nothing to do with the Tampa Bay money. That was strictly all the deferred money through the years that Brady would, redo or, take less here. And then, they had to pay that 17 million out. And then, because we were paying $18 million this year for a quarterback, actually more, probably 20, 21 with Hoyer. So,
I'd rather have my contract that way too. This way, when I'm done playing, I still have a couple more years of money coming in, right, to help me get by. So, I wouldn't want it all up front and then,
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to look it up.
So while you're looking that up, Joe, Jim, the Browns, 28-0 in the first quarter.
How unbelievable was that? How unbelievable was that?
It was just like shocking. I'm like, what am I watching? And me and Shane are texting back and forth because we're in a pool where I think I was telling you guys, each person gets a team and you have to cover the spread. And that's how you keep moving. Poor Shane. Shane, I love you, bro. Thanks for getting me in it. You're gone, I know. He had Pittsburgh in 5, and man, by the first quarter, he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I will say, when they were down, and Jim, I think we talked about it before, 23, they had 4th and 1. And me and Trevor Lawrence Simmons were chatting as well about this. 4th and 1, they didn't go for it. They go for it there and get it. Pittsburgh wins that game. I'm telling you they do. Because now you're taking the sales. If you scored right there, it's 35-30, and now Cleveland's playing scared.
They were playing scared before that. They started feeling like, here it comes. Here's where the bottom falls out for Cleveland.
Oh my God! And then it turned into they punted after that. Cleveland went down, scored. They scored another time, and the game was over. So, but I'll tell you what an interesting game. Ben Roethlisberger, how old is he? 37?
32 and a half.
He looks 62 and a half.
Yeah, I think he'll be 38 this year.
68 throws.
Is that unbelievable?
8.
And how many yards? How many yards? 500 yards.
And 1.
And he loses.
4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I mean, where is he playing in? What's he playing? College? Is that where he is?
Imagine seeing that line.
That's how he had to play.
But not know the score.
I know he was. It was just insane. I mean, he had 2 100-yard receivers, 3 over 60. Besides that, it was 500 yards. But here's why they lost. Well, besides the fact they went down 28-0 in the first quarter, 52 yards rushing from a Steeler team.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to do it, man. That defense was on the field a lot. They were put in shitty positions. They still gave up 41 points, take away that pick 6, but they just didn't get it done. They didn't sack Baker Mayfield once. I don't think either quarterback got sacked last night. Of course, there was 85 points in the game, but just crazy. Nick Chubb had a pretty decent night. Kareem Hunt, they had 127 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, nothing special. Okay, he played a decent game. I just absolutely hate him. 260,
no interceptions.
3 touchdowns. I got to give credit what credit's due, but I'll tell you what, though, they looked scared for a while. Cleveland looked scared for a while, and man, if they would have got him 4th and 1, I don't know what anybody else thinks of that. You just went for it the drive before for a touchdown. So if you want to be risky, be risky. If you're not going to take the chances, I just didn't get it. It's unfortunate, but.
Okay, so while you were saying that, to bounce back to this real quick, so I was wrong. It still does count against the cap, their cap hit, but the guaranteed or the bonus money that they were given can be recouped, and that does not count against the cap. So whatever they were given as a bonus as that contract can be recouped from the team for the games not played, and then that comes off their cap hit.
Okay.
So sorry, I was wrong.
Hey, it's all right.
Unlike this weekend.
There you go. I was going to say that. You did okay this weekend.
Yes.
Yes. A couple people said there's no chance the Browns are winning this game.
I think I did.
Got into a little heated arguments on Facebook too with a couple Steelers fans who did not appreciate my angle of attack on this one, but I don't think anything I said. I mean, did I wholeheartedly believe the Browns were going to win this game? No, I was just making a case as to why I thought they would win this game.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was completely out of the realm of possibility. And as I was talking, I was kind of convincing myself a little bit more that they would win this game because I was like, it's kind of making sense here. So I was kind of buying into it there at the end, but I wasn't 100% on board. But I had to ride that camel all the way to the finish line. So I don't know if that's a saying, but it should be
Yeah, I think it is. I think I heard it on a podcast one time.
Yeah, it's the best damn rivalry podcast on YouTube. So
I'm with you. I agree.
yeah. But man, Juju, another free agent. Dude just made money. Made a lot of money. He's going to be in the Jets next year.
That's another one. So they're getting Godwin.
Everyone's going to the
and
Jets.
Yeah, Godwin and Juju. It's going to be nasty. With
Wow.
Joe, you guys may win 3 games next year.
Seven receivers.
I'm thinking 3 and a tie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
End
Call
up
me
with another good
optimistic
draft
if you
pick.
will. Call me optimistic if you will. But I'm going to say 3 and a tie.
Oh, that's
Well, like, the good thing is you got a chance to hire Doug Peterson. The Eagles fired him.
I know. I don't think anybody.
So he's going to trade green jerseys. Eagles for Jets.
Man,
Move up the turnpike.
I can't imagine what happened in those conversations that he was having with Laurie there. But for him to abandon ship after 3 years after they win the Super Bowl, I don't know who's going to touch him. And it's not going to be as a head coach. I can't imagine.
Well, he turned that quarterback situation into a mess. You know, you got your $1 million arm guy. They ended up going with Hurts. Then Carson Wentz comes out and says he doesn't want to play there anymore. They can't trade Wentz. I mean, the player can't go anywhere.
No.
So the next best thing is to get rid of the coach that's causing this. But you still have a quarterback controversy. You know what I mean?
Who's your starter?
Yeah.
And
Peterson
now
go to
they got to
Cincinnati.
draft one. You know, what's the chance of them drafting one again? What happens if one of these guys fall to them at 6? You know, are they drafting another one? So, yeah, you need to get Peterson out of there.
Yeah.
You know, he won a Super Bowl a couple years ago with, quite honestly, a Band-Aid team against fucking the Patriots, which is bullshit.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Foles,
Right.
man. Foles, I hate. If I ever meet Foles, he's probably bigger than me and can probably kick my ass. But I'm going after him. I don't even care. And yeah,
Philly
it is a
special.
threat.
Philly special.
Yeah. End up kicking the shit out of me and then spitting on my Pat's hat or something. The bastard. I'm an old man. I can't fight anymore. So
Or
but-
run.
or run or
So you just
crawl
gotta take
for that
it.
matter. I just gotta stand there and get the shit kicked out of me. But as long as I get one good hit in, the old John will come out for one time. I just want a good hit where my hand shatters because I got arthritis in my knuckles and I'm good. I don't care. Beat the shit out of me. Beat the shit out of me after that. I'm fine.
Just lay there, have at it.
Just play that. Do it, man. Just knock me out.
Right.
Just hit me in the jaw. I will drop like a bag of potatoes, man.
Yeah.
But kind of back to the the whole Philly thing. My God, I mean he butchered that. He had to go. Absolutely had to go.
Yeah.
Now,
Especially when he laid down. He laid down the last game of the season.
now what about
Right.
Big Ben? What's Big Ben gonna do
Right.
too? What's his next move? Is he playing again? Can he lift his arm today?
Yeah. That's right.
No way.
Right. 68
Let's see.
attempts.
What's his cap hit?
68 attempts, 500 yards.
I know, Shane. I'm still mad. That's why I kind of went on the rant. Hey, Shane, if I fight Nick Foles, will you help me out? I think between the two of us, we could probably get him 3 good hits.
So his cap hit is 41 million for Big Ben. Dead money 22.
Oh,
His cap savings is 19 million.
Well,
So
listen, not for
he's taking
nothing.
up a chunk.
Not for nothing. But if Brady would have caught that trick play, maybe they would have won that game. Ball went right through Brady's hands.
the fact we had to throw to Brady in the Super Bowl.
It was scary enough, but
Tell you all,
could
Tim.
have caught the ball.
I don't remember Brady ever going out for a pass until a Super Bowl. And that can't be good. That can't be good.
No.
That's like letting your 41-year-old quarterback try and Herschel Walker over the friggin' Bears when you have Alvin Kamara in the backfield. Makes no sense to me.
No.
Yeah. But man, this game got out of control.
Nuts.
Out of control. And I was hyped, because it just look, I don't like either of these teams. I don't care. Like, the Steelers are almost as arrogant as the Patriots. It's a good point.
Good point, brother. Good point.
Good.
We're good.
Swing and miss.
Swing and miss, baby.
Yeah.
So the question now is, with 10 minutes from the championship game, does Ohio have back-to-back winning nights? Cleveland wins the playoff game, and then Ohio State, which is in Columbus, wins the national? Could Ohio handle that?
No, and
No.
that's why it won't happen.
It needs to happen to track
you
for what's
imagine
going
that?
on in this country.
Yeah, I mean, it probably will. It probably
Ohio
will.
Ohio will burn its entire state to the ground just off of a Ohio
know
State
what
national championship and a Cleveland playoff win. First Cleveland playoff win. The first road Cleveland playoff win since 1969. Did you see that? It's the first time Cleveland has won a home playoff game since 69. I mean,
It makes
mean
me
a road?
happiest. Yeah.
huh?
A road or home? Because it was a road, right?
Yeah, they played in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. This is the first road game that they've won, a playoff road
Right.
game since 1969. That's
Right.
That's
And they
incredible.
were good in the 80s. They were good in the 80s. They really
Yeah.
were.
Right.
Well, they were good.
I mean-
They were good all in the 60s too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, from what I remember seeing, 80s,
Yeah.
man, they were stout. It was always them. They were
Bernie,
always
Bernie,
around.
Bernie Kosar,
Bernie Kosar.
right?
yeah,
Yeah. Ernest Biner. Yeah.
Tecmo Bowl. Man, I love being
Yeah.
Cleveland and Tecmo Bowl because you couldn't tackle Ernest Biner,
Oh,
man.
that's right. He was a
He wasn't going
sprinter.
down. Yeah.
Right through.
That
But
was
I
a
mean,
big-
really, a road game, it's like 50 miles away, right? I mean, it's not that far away playing in Pittsburgh if you're Cleveland, but
right. But it's still going into Pittsburgh. I mean, that's your rival. It's not like they got
Going
to
to
play like
Pittsburgh.
a game.
no fans.
Yeah. I wonder how that would have changed
Marty
things. But
Schottenheimer era. Good point.
yeah, that defense, that
Wow.
the Browns defense looked good. I mean, they came to play and then they softened up. They got comfortable with that 28-0 lead. They got comfortable, they got soft, and they were playing
Yep.
very soft defense for the remainder of that game. And we
You sure did.
We were watching
was
that
Watt?
comeback.
Where was Watt? Yeah. I mean, what happened?
Couldn't get going. He was trying to get in there, but man, the best thing though about last night's game was
Yeah.
the fact that Odell was not there.
Yeah.
Right?
And he won't be
brought
next
him in.
year.
No, they brought him in to hopefully get there, and he's out almost all. What did he play? 2 games this year? I don't even know how many games he played. Not much. And the fact that he's not there, he's on the sideline or home or somewhere, and they win that game without him.
Well, he's just not good.
That's what he gets. That's what you get. Right?
He's really
That's karma.
he's an extremely overrated wide receiver.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he's kind of like the entire Pittsburgh team. It's overhyped and overrated. Boom.
Wow. Wow.
You know who did look freaking good was Jarvis Landry. He's actually been playing pretty well. I had him in fantasy this year in one of my teams, and just not very good. But I
Came on strong at the end.
you got to give Cleveland credit, man. They went up 28-0, but boy, I was kind of curious if they were going to falcon it. It was never 28-3. I think it was 28-7. I was hoping it was going to be 28-3, and then be like, here we go. Let's not play prevent. And what did they do? They played prevent for the next 2.5 quarters until they actually really started playing D. But
and they were still throwing the ball. They were up like 28-10 in the third, and they're throwing it, and they're going out of bounds voluntarily. I'm like, what are you doing? Like
with Chubb and Hunt, how stupid can you?
They
be?
kept going. Like, just fall down. fall down and just I
Yeah.
could not understand.
They were
How
trying
many
to lose.
plays?
They were trying to lose.
They really were. Like, I mean,
Like, how can we screw this up?
it's the
I know. I'll
third
keep
quarter.
stopping the clock. I'll give them
Yeah.
more time.
Right. It's the third quarter, and Pittsburgh was just walking down the field there, just scoring, 3-and-out, score, and they're still throwing the ball and going out of bounds. Just like, oh my God, just minutes you're leaving on the clock for the Steelers to come back. I couldn't understand that one. Luckily for them, they were able to finally get their shit going, but that was unbelievable. I could not believe the way that game was exciting, very exciting. I didn't think it was going to be, but the Steelers definitely did. Yeah, 2 consecutive drives through 5 or 6 plays and 2 punts. Yeah, I mean they just throwing the ball. You're like, what are you doing? Just run it at least once.
Right.
You know, that's the one time where it's okay to run it on first down, even if everybody knows you're doing it. That's you know,
Yeah,
instead of
it
throwing
was
incomplete passes.
poor. But hey, good for them. They finally won a friggin' playoff game. Yeah, it's. I mean, you have Nick Chubb back there. You have Kareem Hunt. That's Chubb time right there. Bring in that SEC beast from the Bulldogs and get him going. I mean, God, how many carries did he have? What,
18.
18 for 76? I mean, they only rushed the ball, I say only 31 times. With a lead like that, it should have been 51 times.
Yeah.
You know? 28-0, just run the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there should have been like 3 passes thrown in the second half of this game.
Yeah.
In all reality, but
Especially with those running backs. I mean, my God, what are you thinking?
like you go up 28-0 and Baker Mayfield still had 34 pass attempts in this game. Like
They don't know how to win. That's what it is. They don't know what to do. We're up 28-0. Where are we?
and I am
How do
all
we
for
play now?
I'm
We
all
don't have
for
a game plan. There's no playbook for that.
yeah, I'm all for keeping the foot on the gas and trying to score, and that's great, but you got to have a balance. You got to have a
Right.
balance there, and they didn't. They didn't.
I couldn't agree more. But I'll tell you what, if they should have ran Chubb and Hunt against the Jets and they didn't, and they lost, you know what I mean? It's like they just don't. I don't know. I don't get why you don't use them. And I was just going to say that, Chaney. Why not play them both? Why not have them on the field at the same time?
Right.
Scare the living shit out of those linebackers. Make them stay up. Then your receivers are going one-on-one. And, I mean, I'm sorry, Jarvis Landry is friggin' insane. I mean, if he's one-on-one, he's going to roast you. I mean, they can't get that balance right. I don't understand why they don't run these two more.
And even if you don't, if you try to pass it, that's 2. I mean, and Chubb was showing he could catch the ball.
Damn right.
They don't throw him the ball much, but
They both can. Yeah.
he caught a couple, and Hunt has great hands. So even if your wide receivers can't beat man coverage, you should have 2 dump off valves on either side of the field to go to. And then once you get the ball in their hands, they could make. I mean, you saw how many times did Chubb get the ball and just make people look stupid in the end of that game last night, just busting through. What did Chubb had 4 for 69 and a 40-yard catch?
He had a 40-yard pass. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
give it to
utilize it. That's exactly
no, I can't.
how they should
Shane.
play this.
I can't, Shane, because they'd be unstoppable. I mean, are we just that smart? And they're not.
Oh,
I mean,
I think this
think
past
so.
weekend proved it. But
I mean, all of us were all saying run Chubb and Hunt. I mean, why wouldn't you? What are you saving him for Kansas City? Come on, that's bullshit. You didn't know you were beating Pittsburgh. But I agree with I agree with Trevor Lawrence Simmons there. If they can control the ball and they run them to 45 times, they can beat Kansas City. Yeah. But he's right. If they have to rely on Mayfield like Tennessee had to with Tannehill, you know they're going to lose. They are. It'll be a bloodbath actually.
Yeah, but it's
going to be
think
interesting. Go ahead.
So Baker Mayfield had five carries for 3 yards. So those were not
scrambles,
right? So otherwise, 26 carries for the 2 running backs as opposed to 34 attempts for Mayfield. You look at those numbers, you think they were losing this game.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense with the way the score went. It should have been 34 carries for Chubb, 18 carries for Hunt, and 12 pass attempts for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Really,
yeah.
it makes no sense. And I guess maybe you're up that much. Maybe you don't want to beat the crap out of them too bad. Keep them healthy for Kansas City because you're going to need it.
Right.
Because if they don't control the clock and keep that ball away from that offense overall, man, that's going to be. I can't wait to break down next week's games are going to be so fun to break down.
Yep.
Outside of the Rams game, they're going to get destroyed, but the other games I think are going to be tight. So 5 o'clock. So it looks like it's time for some Ohio State, Bama football coming up here. So I think we should probably wrap it up so everybody, all the viewers right now can get over there to
That's right.
watch the
Switch
game.
over.
Roll Tide tonight. Roll Tide. Too much on both sides of the ball. I don't see Ohio State being able to hang with them, and Alabama's going to win another one tonight.
I'm excited to see what Najee Harris is
Oh,
going to
he
do
did
there in the
decline.
game.
Look at that.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
That's why I was texting you this morning. I didn't know if it was real or there's so
Yeah.
much stuff out there, but
I think he cited safety. I think a lot of Bama by 21. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'd probably. I mean, I don't know about 21, but we'll see. You too, brother.
Yeah,
Me
if
too.
that happens, if that happens after what they did to Clemson, what that defense did to Clemson, that would make one hell of a statement for everybody on Alabama.
Yeah.
For sure. So we'll see. All right, so we'll be back later in the week. What are you guys thinking?
Thursday.
Thursday, good. You guys
Thursday
said you're
could
busy
work,
Wednesday,
yeah.
right?
I can't do
Yes.
Wednesday.
Yeah, so we can we'll do a Thursday breakdown. Fields will look like he did at Northwestern. I hope so we can stop talking about the Jets drafting him.
Oh, is Waddle coming back? Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, they said he was going to try to.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're right. If Waddle comes back, it'll be 28. I think. Never mind 21. You can't stop either of them guys.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll come. So we'll be back Thursday. Then we'll break down or preview the divisional rounds, which are going to be some exciting games. So we'll kind of talk about what some of the stars from this game tonight do as well. I think that's huge draft implications for potentially a wide receiver going to the Giants and a quarterback going to the
Jets.
out of here. So hopefully not. Hopefully yes for Jim. No for me. We will see how that plays out. But so until then, guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Enjoy the games tonight, and please subscribe, hit that bell, like the show, and come back Thursday, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific time. We will preview the divisional round. So again, thank you. Can't grow without you guys. Love your conversations and love having you with us each week. So for John, for Jim, I'm Joe. Enjoy the games. We'll talk to you guys later.
Peace.